Welcome
to the Color and Life podcast.
or welcome back, whichever matches the experience you have with us. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm John Michael.
We can be found mainly at www.colorandlifepodcast.com, which gives you all the ways to find us.
Yep.
But there will also be other ways listed down here. For all prize winners, I forgot to mention this, you need to make sure in your PM to me, you do the full name and address. So, because we have prizes this week. Alrighty. This is probably going to be up Thursday, January 11th, really late, or Friday, January 12th.
Yeah.
I have been drinking...
Don't stop there.
I have been drinking Let It Snow. It's a David's tea in this mug that my husband got me. He got me a whole bunch of knitting type mugs. And I love this one. It says, I am working on my PhD. Projects half done in knitting. This is a very appropriate mug for me.
Yes, it is.
Okay, and we have something.
40?
Wait. Before we do that. Oh, this is episode 40. But
yeah,
before we...
because, that's...
Before we go into episode 40...
Last one was 39.
Right.
Next one will be 41.
But before we go further, we've got something fun to do
40.
in our intro. We're gonna taste some more Lindors.
Oh, okay.
We've got a mint one and
A gingerbread one.
the gingerbread one.
Well, gingerbread.
Okay, so which one first? Gingerbread?
Apparently.
Okay. That was smooth. He took another one and put it over on the side. Here.
I'll put it back. There we go. Alrighty.
What do you think?
There's a little bit of spice in there. It's a little bit crunchy, which I don't
It's
know
got
about.
little pieces of gingerbread in it.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. It says it in the description.
It's funny because it says irresistibly smooth on it, as all Lindor things do. But it's got bits of cookie in it.
And has little bits of gingerbread. With gingerbread pieces, envelopes, and irresistibly smooth gingerbread truffle filling. So the filling's super smooth, but the shell on the outside has a little bit. That has a nice little bite to it of ginger.
Yep, just a bit. I could use a little bit more of that ginger because I like ginger.
I do too.
Am I ginger? No. Oh, I want it to be ginger.
I'm not finished with mine.
Oh. Well, you're late because I've started already.
So do we recommend the gingerbread one? I could smell the mint just putting it in my mouth.
This is a good mint chocolate.
This is dark peppermint.
Which is a good mint chocolate. You don't want mint with milk chocolate, I don't think. It's not quite as good as mint dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is a crisper taste.
Okay. So, how do we rate these?
I mean, they're Lindor truffles. Are we not going to... To be fair.
They're not handmade truffles. Handmade truffles are better.
Well, yeah.
But these are pretty good. I don't know. Those were really close. I have a hard time choosing
I'm not a
between
fan
them.
of dark chocolate as a whole. So I have to go with the other one.
Do you have to go with the gingerbread?
I'm not sure I like either of these better than just regular ones. So.
Oh, then the plain ones?
Mm-hmm.
What about the pumpkin spice one?
Pumpkin spice one was good.
That one goes above the regular ones?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's our little
Just a quick note.
intro assessment.
You know, pumpkin spice bears little resemblance to actual pumpkin anymore. Like it's just like
That's true.
it doesn't really relate anymore.
But it's the smell of fall.
Yeah, nutmeg and cloves and cinnamon and there's another one. What is it?
That's what's all in. Here, smell this. That's what's all in. Let it snow.
Yeah, see, the smell of fall. Those are those
And
spices.
green tea. So this is a green tea. It's really good.
Which, by the
Alrighty.
way, if you put nutmeg, cloves, and cinnamon in oatmeal, it tastes infinitely better.
Oh yeah, really good.
Not too much cloves though.
Just a little bit of cloves.
A little bit of cloves.
About
A little bit more nutmeg,
a little bit more nutmeg.
and then a lot of cinnamon.
And raisins.
And raisins. But put the raisins in first, and then boil the
Boil
water.
in the water. Yeah,
With
boil
the
the raisins
raisins
in
in
the
it.
water. This is turning into a cooking show.
It was an accident,
This
I
is
swear.
talking into a food cooking show. Maybe we should.
Maybe we
include
should
that
move
as
on
one of our new
to-
segments.
Maybe we should
All right.
move on.
So what do
to
we have for
what
our
we
viewers
have.
today? Wait, there was something else I was going to say about that. You reminded me.
What?
It
About
was
oatmeal?
about food. Oh, I was going to say, speaking of teas and stuff, I just had remembered that you cleaned out my tea closet.
Okay, so all the alongs.
Which made room for more tea. So now it's all full again.
So now she's subscribed to this tea service.
I haven't subscribed. I haven't subscribed.
Uh-huh.
I just order from it a lot.
You order from it regularly, which is the same as a subscription.
It's not the same. Subscription, they send it without you ordering.
See, they send you an update that says, hey, we have all these new teas, and then you go and buy every single one of them.
Oh, not every single one. Just a variety for tasting.
Okay, all but one of them, and then...
He has a lot of tea on that side. Okay,
all the alongs.
digressing again.
Show and tell. Maker of the month.
We have prizes for all the alongs.
Oh, yeah, we do.
That's the important part.
Well, yeah, I was going to tell them that in
Prizes.
in 1 minute when I
Okay.
get to that.
Okay.
So we have Maker of
All
the
the
Month, giveaways, conversation, and
No questions.
questions for viewers.
Yes, questions for viewers. Alrighty. Is that it?
Yep.
On with the show.
It's time to conclude the Festivus for the rest of us make along.
Yes, it is.
What?
I think we need one last big Festivus for the rest of us voice, though.
No,
Just because it's so amazing. I have to go back and watch the others for the big Festivus for the rest of us voice.
Yep.
There's not a really big, nice concluding Festivus for the rest of us voice.
Nope. I just announced the end.
Conclusion.
Yep. We concluded.
It concluded, and then there was holidays. So here we are. And what do we... Oh, before we do the prizes and everything for Festivus for the rest of it, I know that we said that we were going to do the Easter eggs. However, this was really big prize thing with all of these. So, to keep everything straight and make it clean, next episode we'll do Easter egg giveaways.
Yep. We wanted to separate our prize giving away.
Yes.
So that it was more clear
Yeah.
who was getting what prizes.
Because we've got a lot of prizes. All right.
Yep.
So, on to the prizes. Prizes. We're going to announce and describe the prizes, right?
Yep.
First. So, you have to watch all the prizes. All right. So, we're going to do this like we usually do.
Yep.
Where we list all the prizes and all the prizes are numbered. When you see this, if you are a winner, you respond with the prizes you want in the order that you would like them. So you need to give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 3, whatever,
Yep. I'm going to start with the prize that you want the most.
and work down to the prize you want the least. All right. And usually that works out really nicely, and so people get what they are excited for.
Cool.
Alrighty. What's our first prize?
Our first prize is the orange owl.
No.
What?
Prize number 1.
Oh, that's...
You have to do them in order.
Oh. Well, I was just going for the one that was on top.
Yeah, we're not doing them on top. Okay, so
I should have piled them
the
strategically.
first prize number
Strategic
1,
piling.
is in this diamond bag, this cute little canvas drawstring bag. And it has inside these 2 Notion pouches, Notion size pouches. And they're not fabric. They're sturdy. They're very sturdy. So good for those like really sharp pointy scissors maybe. And then it also has stitch markers or progress keepers from knittingilove. A set of those, a measuring tape, sheepy measuring tape, and I hope you'll be able to see this because this is amazing. This is sock washi tape. It's socks hung on a line. So, that is prize number 1. Okay. Prize number 2 is what?
Is
this one.
beach bum yarn.
This incredible, wonderful, squishy, juicy skein of beach bum yarn. These colors are amazing. And they're totally not coming through correctly. I'm so sorry. These are like fuchsias turned into this like neon purple color.
Oh, yeah, that's really blown out.
Yeah. But this is is it better back here? Yes. The colors are better back here. The colors are better back here, yes?
Yeah?
Yeah, they're a little better back here.
I thought you were just
so
stating
this is
that.
DK. No, I was asking you. This is DK. This is 231 yards, 100 grams of DK weight, 100% superwash merino. The colorway is unicorn hair. So that's prize number 2. Prize number 3.
Christmas tree bag. It does not contain a real Christmas tree.
It does not.
Unfortunately.
So this is a Christmas tree bag. And this is, a couple of these next ones are, kits that I received. So, this is it has 2 skeins of, cotton wool. Let's see, where's the information? This is Zephyr by Pacifica Yarn. It's a perfect blend of Texas wool and California cotton make up this lofty woolen spun yarn. Designed for warmer climates, this yarn is soft yet durable, and it's 100% American sourced. Each 50-gram skein contains 134 yards. And there's 2 patterns. There's a crochet pattern and a knitting pattern that come with this. So, it looks like a little headband thing. But you can use the yarn for whatever you want.
Yep, it's got a little kit.
Okay. That's number 3. Number 4. Striped squares. Okay, yes, we're very literal. They're striped squares. Okay. And this is these, again, there's a crochet patterning and knitting pattern. And what's inside this one is 2 skeins of Kenzie. It's this pretty taupe color. And it is 50% New Zealand merino and 25% nylon, 10% Angora, 10% alpaca, and 5% silk noils. This is cool yarn. This is neato yarn.
Yep.
160 yards, 50 grams. There's 2 of them. So that's prize number 4. Prize number 5. The one that was on top is the owl bag. And this one has, again, Zephyr yarn, but it's Zephyr DK from Pacifica Yarn Company in the colorways Starfish and Sand Dollar. I love these colors. These are amazing. This one is slightly more heathered than it was showing up when I held it up close. And again, there's 2
patterns.
2 patterns, yes. A crochet pattern and a knitting pattern that come along with this one. Oh, do we want to show what the pattern is? And they're each for like little slipper type foot covering things. So these little kits. And then number 6 and number 7, prize number 6 and prize number 7 are Etsy gift cards. Prize number 8 and prize number 9 are Amazon books. Knitting book from Amazon. All right. Are we ready for the winners?
Oh.
Now that you know the prizes? Okay, that was our drum roll. That was a pretty crappy drum roll, but whatever. Okay, so our first winner, and we'll put the names on the screen too.
Yeah. Our first winner.
Oh, you're going to do that.
Well, you announced all the prizes.
Okay, so you do the winners.
Our first winner is Nitty Moomin.
These are the winners from the UFO thread.
Yes.
There's 5 winners from the UFO thread and 4 winners from the Done and Beautiful thread. Okay, wait. There's 5 winners from the UFO thread and 4 winners from the Done and Beautiful. When we did the drum roll, my tea spilled.
So the first winner from the UFO thread is Nitty Moomin, who knit like a little Christmas cracker style crown.
Yeah.
For her little girl.
She knit all kinds of things. She entered with so much stuff. But the post that won was the one where she had all the washcloths and her little girl was not wearing the crown. She showed the crown, but she wasn't wearing the crown in the picture, just this adorable little picture of the girl. It's in the Done and Beautiful thread that or in the Done and Beautiful thread she's wearing the crown.
It's not what it says in the show notes.
I know that. It's wrong. Okay.
Blaze Pyretta is our next winner. She knitted socks for her stepdaughter.
Yep. I loved it that she called her bonus baby. That was so cute. I thought, that's awesome.
Our next winner is Running It My Way, who made some gorgeous purple and green quilt blocks.
Oh, I love those. I coveted those. I want those fabrics.
Our next one is Nicole S., who made coral colored mitts.
Now, this is just the post that was the winner. That was the winning post. The multiple people, they have multiple entries.
Yeah, all of these people
had multiple entries. And you guys were amazing. It was so fun.
And last of our UFOs is Lucky Jenny with a cowl.
Yes. That was a beautiful cowl. I want that pattern. I think I want to knit that. So this is just so fun. All right, so we've put your names up on the screen. You need to... Oh, I'll do that at the end. Okay. From the Done and Beautifuls.
From the Done and Beautifuls, we have Ladybug Lily, who made a whole bunch of tiny sweater ornaments.
Oh my god, they were so amazing.
I don't know if you counted them, but there were 11.
He said there
were 10 of a kind. There were 11. You missed one. I don't know.
You're hurting his mathiness.
I don't know if you noticed that.
You're really hurting his mathiness.
No, it's just that she said 10 of a kind, and there were 11. There's a discrepancy there that should be corrected.
Well, the thread's locked.
Just so you know.
The thread's locked, so it won't be able to be.
That's okay. I just so you know. And our next one is Nitty Moomin, again, who knit a bunny.
She knit so many things. It was amazing. You rocked. And that bunny was just... I want one.
You have
just
a bunny.
Like
you have a bunny.
I know.
Be satisfied with
and
your bunny.
She's adorable.
Be satisfied with your bunny.
Yes, Bonbon's adorable.
Running It My Way made a dog quilt, which if you haven't seen it, go check it out because it's so cute.
Go look at these things.
So cute.
Go look at the Done and Beautiful because there were so many incredible things.
And York 109 made a cowl for a good friend.
So, and that was an interesting pattern. So many amazing things. All right, so here's what. So now you know that if you want a prize, you need to get it to me. You need to get your list to me, and the first person gets the highest choices. So a couple of people you might have noticed have won more than one prize. They won in the UFO and they won in the Done and Beautiful. That's okay. When your thing arrives, you'll get the next 2 available on your list.
Yeah.
So just make one list. You don't need to give me... Don't give me 2 different lists. Just one list. Was that clear enough?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. You need to PM me on Ravelry. My name is Junip on Ravelry. So, PM me your list on Ravelry. And...
Do they know what PM is?
Yep, private message.
Okay. Good, just checking.
Everybody knows what PM is, I think, that's watching these kinds of things. That
Except
anybody
for the people who don't know.
Anybody who entered on Ravelry, which is where the thread is, would probably know what private messaging is.
Except for all the people who don't know.
There may be people who don't know. You are correct. So, private messaging. Then, what else? So thank you. It was an amazing knit along. It was so fun. Oh, whatever happened with your... Did you knit anything or make anything?
Yes, my hat. The Cool House hat.
A Cool House hat. Did you give it to
Yeah.
Cameron after all? How did he like it?
He loved it.
Does he look good in it?
He does. He looks much better than I do.
All right.
That hat. Well, in general. What?
Never mind. Okay.
But he's
So-
a good-looking dude.
And I did lots of things. And I'm doing still lots of things. So, because my gifting just keeps on gifting. Or my gifting season keeps getting bigger. Alrighty. Thanks for
That's
participating.
not quite how words work.
I don't know what I said anymore, even. I don't even remember what I said.
You should
Okay.
drink some more tea.
I probably should. So where do we get to? We're done. We're done with prizes. And we're done with this knit along. And we thank you very much for participating. It was really fun. We had lots of participants.
Yep.
Maybe we'll do...
We will get back to you with what our next knit along will be.
Yes. But this was a fun one.
Now it's time for show-offs.
Okay. Who's going first?
You are.
Okay. I'm not showing off, we're not showing off everything this time. We're just showing off like one thing each.
Pretty much.
I kind of went a little, did I show my blanket last time? I did. Yeah. And there were pictures on Instagram of me laying it out and picking the next yarns. So I need your help with this. So I had it squared off to where my left hand is up here. So I had it squared off, completely squared off. And then I've done this. I'm in the middle of this square right here. But I've done, whoops, up higher, a little bit, all of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20. You're totally done with 24 to be coming soon.
Because
To a
that's what
blanket
4
near
times
you.
6 is.
So, I love this blanket. I think it's as wide. I need your hands again. I think it's probably as wide as I want it because it covers kind of both of us at this point. So I think it'll be perfect for like one person to snuggle up under.
Yep.
I'm gonna do one more strip up this side. One more strip of single blocks up this side, and then it'll be as wide as I I'm going to make it. And then it's only going vertical until I'm happy with its altitude.
That is not how that word works. Try again.
Happy with its amplitude?
Nope. Try again.
Happy with its vertical height?
Nope. Try again.
Yeah, vertical height.
Nope. Try again.
Happy with its height. Happy with its
No.
vertical measurement.
No.
What?
Try again.
What?
Length.
Oh, length. Okay.
Length is the proper vocabulary word.
All right.
Height.
I am not the math nerd.
Height. That is not a math thing. That is a dimensional thing. You exist
Which is totally math.
You exist in 3 dimensions. Okay, you need to know what each of them are
geometry.
called. Okay, so this right here, this distance here, the width, the thickness of the blanket, that's the height. If you wanted more height, you use a thicker yarn.
Okay.
Because it lays.
Okay.
Rounds, height, length, and then width.
Okay.
See?
Okay.
That is how that works.
All right. It's warm in here today.
That's because you're sitting under a blanket.
Oh, that's true. With lights on. Okay. I mean, like, lighty lights on. Right, that's me. That's me. So I have another 3 times 4, 12. So I have another 12 after I finish this before it's squared off again. Then I think I'll pick the ones that I want to go up this edge. And then I'll work on the other. Maybe not. Maybe I won't work on that edge yet. I think I'm developing a plan for that edge. Okay. We'll see. We'll see what I do. It'll change probably in the next 30 seconds. Because that's how my plans kind of work sometimes. Alrighty. And, John Michael, your turn.
Okay. There's not much to
What
show
are you
here
going to show
yet.
today?
It's a scarf. It's quite a wide scarf. It's going to be about, this wide.
It will be a little wider than that.
No, it's going to be about that wide. I'm not going to block it very heavily.
Okay. It still might be a little bit wider.
And it is
Take off the needles.
this one, which we've seen here before. I was going to knit it for the Fearless
We've talked
Fiber
about that.
make-along.
Yeah, we've talked about that pattern quite a bit, actually.
I'm finally knitting it because I woke up this morning and I'm like, hey, I want to knit that. So I found some yarn.
He went shopping.
It is...
Colorful Eclectic.
It is, but I'm tag diving.
If you put it in the middle like I do, then you don't have to tag dive.
See, I could do that. Or I could put it in a place that I've never put it before, but will now always remember in the little pocket on the inside. It's graphite by Colorful Eclectic.
Yes.
In fingering weight.
Rapture sock. Okay.
And it's going to be this really nice, wide, bunchy scarf
Yeah.
that'll just kind of snuggle up.
I think so.
Yeah.
And we'll update you next time. Is that it for what we're sharing today and showing off? I think so.
That's it.
That's our show offs. What's next?
Um,
Oh, I have one thing that's finished. I have one more thing I forgot
Okay.
about. It's my Advent shawl. Now, I have pictures of this up on Instagram. But this turned out so pretty. This is the Winter Dawn.
is it the Sweet Georgia one?
Yeah, this is the Sweet Georgia Advent shawl. And I finished it
So just so you know,
just after Christmas.
Just so you know what an Advent shawl is, it's a calendar that has not just a piece of yarn in it, but also a bit of pattern.
Yes. So it was really fun. And
So it has a piece of yarn and pattern.
and pattern. It was very clever how they did it. It was really cool.
Yep.
So that's my not my one finish shawl. I have lots of others, but my Denim Beautiful. But it's so pretty, and there's so many different colors going through it. I really love it. Okay, now we have, what do we have next? Next, we have Maker of the Month.
Featured Maker of the Month, which is Corinne from Hawari Bazaar.
Yes. And I'm going to show you the fun little things I got. These two minis are from her. These two minis are from her.
Is that the Grinch and Cindy Lou Who?
This is not the Grinch. This one is it's a reference to all of the toys and stuff that they
that looks like the Grinch and Cindy Lou Who.
This is Cindy Lou Who. This is 100% Cindy Lou Who.
Called that one.
Called that one. This one is Your Mean One, Mr. Grinch.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Yep. Exactly. This
Your
one.
Heart's an empty hole.
Yep. I love this one. Do you want to tell them what this one's called?
Roast Beast.
And we had Roast Beast. I need Roast Beast.
Oh yeah, I suppose we did have Roast Beast.
We did.
Of many a kind.
Okay, so all right. So those are several of hers. Go to her site, and it will have been down here. And she is offering a coupon code through the 15th of January. She was our Maker of the Month in December, but we did that really late one, so it goes all the way till January 15th. And she has amazing. This is a DK. And this one is fingering on her finger base. She has lots of different bases, lots of really fun things. Anytime I've dealt with her, she's been really happy to talk about and do special orders. And that's exciting. So, she's fun and she has really a creative sense. She also makes these dragon scale mitts. And I'm wondering where they ended up.
I don't know.
But okay. So she also makes these dragon scale mitts, and I ordered a pair, and she did a fabulous job. They're amazing. So if you're interested, I highly recommend you talk to her and work with her on those, because they're incredible. I'll try to put a picture in. That's what I'll do. Try to put a picture in of them. The photograph may not do them justice, because they were really amazing. You saw them.
Mm-hmm.
You agree?
Yes.
All right. And I think that's it for Maker of the Month. We are not sure. We're kind of debating if we're going to continue the Maker of the Month through 2018.
Yes, but we'll talk about it at the end.
No, don't. We're going to just talk about this one right here. You think it's a little bit forced, and none of us want to come off as an infomercial or anything like that, because these makers in 2017 were ones we genuinely loved. Genuinely loved their stuff and wanted to share. And just let us know. Let us know what you think. Give us your feedback about whether that's a critical element for you. All right. What's next? Giveaways. Yay! Giving stuff away.
So we do not have a giveaway this time, because we gave away, a whole bunch of prizes. So
we have all these prizes given away. So,
and we didn't want it to be confusing. So we just gave away all those prizes.
We're a little shipping challenged over here. So
just a little bit.
So
I meant confusing for
the
them.
Scope, yeah,
I can
confusing
see
for
how
them.
you misunderstood
It works on multiple levels.
Confused with shipping as you are.
It works on multiple levels, but we are definitely shipping challenged. All right. So the giveaway for last time, though, the yarn we need to announce the winner of is this beautiful fern colorway from Babel's Traveling Yarns. Babel's Yarns. Sorry, not Traveling. Babel's Yarns. And who won it? The question was snow or no snow.
Oh, yeah. Snow or no snow. And the person who won Angelic Embers says, Snow, I moved to Florida for 9 years and found it so depressing during the holidays, so I moved back to the town in New Jersey where I was born and raised and looked forward to snow, although not driving in it.
Yeah. Alrighty, so contact me with your full name and full address via Ravelry. PM me on Ravelry. And for any of you who are still watching from the prize giveaway thing, you need to give me your full name and address and everything. Are we boring you?
What?
Are we boring you?
No, I just didn't get lots of sleep last night.
So, full name and address. Everybody needs to send me along with your list, full name and address.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else for the giveaway part? Oh,
nope.
Speaking of Babel's Yarns, I have been doing some VCANs lately. Virtual knit nights. Spending quite a bit of time on those. Babel's, Grace used to have a room, that she started and ran, and it kind of like grew and morphed and became big and became the 24/7 thing, and Grace was, needed to step a little back and make some different choices and stuff and had to let the virtual knit night go. And so it's being taken care of and run. That same room is now International VCAN. And there's a Facebook page. You can contact them via Facebook to get the room number and its specific times. There's another one, Yarns Around the World, that I'm spending a lot of time in. Because it's all open all the time when I'm available. So it's really nice, and you just log in, and I'll put the number down here. So Yarns Around the World, and they have a website too, or they're getting a website shortly. YITW.org. So, lots of fun in virtual knit nights. Come and join. Come and pop in. Anything else?
Nope.
For our giveaway? All right. So, and all the information for this stuff would be on the screen. Okay. All right, it's time to converse.
Yep.
Do we have our conversation?
Yes. So last time we talked about podcaster questions.
Yes, we answered the podcaster
given
questions
to us by Laura
from A Crocheting Cuvian.
And this time our topic is the new year.
Yeah. I have intentionally not watched most other podcasts that are talking about their New Year stuff yet. Because I wanted our conversation not to be, oh, well, this person said, and this person said, and this person said. New Year is kind of interesting for a lot of people. What are your thoughts about it? I mean, people can have some pretty extreme reactions to the idea of New Year's resolutions and setting goals and having all that. I have some definite opinions about it.
I don't know. I don't think that New Year's resolutions are in any way necessary or even useful to most people.
Why not useful?
You know, some people it's enough, and other people, most people, I think, it falls a bit short, and it feels like they're doing something that doesn't end up actually accomplishing anything.
So they don't succeed in their resolutions and feel like they failed?
Well, not just that, but they feel like they've done something towards their goals that hasn't really furthered them.
So it can be I almost understood that. Okay.
That's okay, you're tired. Right?
Yes, I am tired.
So, the other thing that I was thinking about a lot as the new year happened is I've been having a bit of a relationship with change. And
Your relationship with change has not been a very happy or healthy one.
I disagree.
In the past.
Oh, in the past. Well, a little bit. So, I mean, there's my mathematical relationship with change, which is, the derivative, and that's great. I mean, I love that. Always have. But there's change in my life that has historically not gone so well for me. And so so this past year, I've been going to a community college, and it's been a lot of fun, and I've made a lot of friends, and I've actually been doing that for like 3 years now.
That's your high school.
It's pretty much my high school. Yeah, that's where I went to high school. So I'm kind of moving on from that, and I'm going to Mines, a full-blown university. I'm looking at getting my bachelor's degree soon, and so there's a lot of change that's happening for me. And
but interestingly, not everybody else, most often in high school, everybody else in your class is going through all that change at the same time.
Yeah, except that's not true at all. I know a couple of people from my school that are also going to Mines kind of at the same time as me, but most of my close friends, they're not. They're staying there. They're finishing up some other stuff
before they go on to their next thing.
Yeah.
So the change is happening for different people at different moments, different times.
So, and I've just been kind of dealing with that and realizing, mostly that you put your blanket on my lap and now I'm getting really warm. So you need to move that. And mostly realizing that it doesn't really matter where I am. I can always be with people. And that's especially what?
You're wiggling.
Yes. I do that when I'm nervous.
Nervous talking about this? A little bit?
A little bit.
Okay.
So, I was saying something. I swear.
Your friends.
Yeah.
Australia.
There's this really hilarious web series called Red vs. Blue. I've mentioned it before. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to most of you because it's probably not your type of thing. But
why? Why would you say that?
Because it's
because of the language.
It's very full of profanity and it's a very disjointed story, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense most of the time. But I enjoy it. And there's one character who's not quite all there, and so a lot of what he says doesn't make sense. And they did a video featuring him at one point where he talks about friends, and he has an interesting relationship because he really likes this one guy, not like romantically, but he's like really fixated on him, on being his best friend, and that character goes away. And so the video essentially boils down to him building a friend, is what he's trying to do. He's like talking about materials for making a friend and, what kind of friend you want to make. And it's set in this guise of building a friend, but all of it is really pertinent to making friends too. And the line, the video closes with the line, he's talking about losing friends, and it closes with the line, "What's really great about friends is that no matter how many friends you do lose, You can always make more. And that's pretty neat. And I find that that's really valuable to remember, because whenever you think about your friends, most people don't think about a time before when they had those friends.
You mean a time before when they didn't have the friends?
A time before when they had the friends would be a time when they didn't have the friends. It's a words thing.
Okay.
They don't necessarily think about, a time when they didn't have the friends. And I was kind of thinking about that, and I realized I don't know if I'm just about to meet a really good friend, or if I'm not, and I don't know what's next. And to try and assign a good or bad to what's happened when you don't know what's about to happen is kind of pointless.
It doesn't give you any useful information.
It doesn't. It just makes you feel, one way or the other about something that is happening, and it doesn't really matter whether you feel good or bad about it. It is happening,
whether you like it or not.
Yeah. And so, that's, kind
okay,
of.
how does that
what
relate
I've been
to New
doing.
Year? Change.
Yes, change.
Okay. So, on that very, very wonderful segue, that's kind of what New Year's resolutions and everything are about. And all of those things. Are there something that I don't like that I want to change? That's what almost everybody's New Year's resolutions center around, or historically have. I'm going to, and they start sounding in terms of, I'm going to be organized. I'm going to be fit. I'm going to be healthy.
Yeah.
And not always. Sometimes they're more specific, do things. But lots of times they're these global be things. The other thing about change, and this is part of where I'm headed next in talking about a couple of things, is some of you've been with the podcast for a while and watched quite a few episodes might have noticed a change in me.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the fact that I am not Liz.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. That was a while ago. That happened a while ago.
Yeah. You've been with the podcast for a while. They might have noticed a change. I thought you were talking about the fact that I am not Liz.
Oh, I see. That wasn't what I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
But the point being... Hang on, let me do this really quickly. It's on here. Okay. So, the point being that I am not the same size as I used to be. Over the past year, I've gone down 50 pounds. I'm kind of impressed with that. But here's the thing. When we do these New Year's resolutions, and I know that I might get to the point of sounding a little bit evangelistic, and I'm sorry, but that's just kind of the price that you pay for listening to me be passionate about something. So, there's these 3 books. Mini Habits for Weight Loss, and all of these are on our recommended page. I will put the website www.colorinlifepodcast.com right here, and all these things that I talk about will be on the website in the recommended page. So you don't have to remember or anything, just go there and you can find them. Mini Habits for Weight Loss, and I always mix up the title. Is it Small Move, Big Change? Or Big Change, Small Move? Small Move, Big Change. Small Move, Big Change. So, these have been really powerful books for me. Because I used to go into New Year's resolutions and go, I'm going to X. So traditionally I might have gone, I'm going to lose 50 pounds this next year. Well, okay. And by doing that, I'm going to exercise an hour every day. I'm going to do this much. I'm going to join a gym. I'm going to, plans have been endless and enormous. But I learned from these books is that freaks out a very important part of our brain that says, my job to keep everything the same. I don't care that it might even be unhealthy for you long term. This is what you've established. My job is to keep everything the same. So we have this little comfort zone.
It's actually very much like an inductor.
Okay.
An inductor resists change in current proportional to the change in current. So the more change is happening, the more that part of your brain resists it.
Right. So
and
you have this.
Smaller the change, the less it resists it.
And we've kind of talked about this on the podcast before, but you have your comfort zone, and most New Year's resolutions places clear over here. They're like here. So there's several factors that combine. You've got this part of your brain going, this is where we live. This is where we live. We do not live outside of here. This is where we stay. Its job is to patrol that perimeter and make sure nothing changes.
Yeah, and that's because you're right here.
Yeah, and make sure nothing changes. And if something changes, it's right there going, I'm not sure about this.
I don't think we should do this.
So you've got this part of your brain that is patrolling the outside, and you decide you're going to do some change. Well, like you were talking about, the more you want to change the thing. So you start with these stupid small. And I mean stupid small. The idea is you start with stupid small things. They are no fail things. Mine was move for 5 minutes a day. That's it. That's still mine, actually. And there are occasional days where it's only 5. But most of the time, I walk most of the time, my minimum is actually 30 minutes and or a mile, whichever comes first. And I'm walking a lot faster now, so sometimes a mile comes sooner. But the 5 minutes gets me to the treadmill. At the beginning, for like a month almost, it was 5 minutes.
That was it.
That was it. 5 minutes.
But
it was every day. 5 minutes every day.
And the other thing that's really important to remember about that is if it's a physical thing, your body isn't ready to change all at once. Like, our bodies are not nearly as susceptible and available to change as our minds. And our minds are pretty bad at change. So
you got this whole thing. So wait, this goes right into the next thing I was going to say.
If it's to do with your body, then you have to both allow yourself more time to change and make sure that you stay changing.
Yeah. So you do a whole bunch, then you feel crappy, then you don't want to go the next day. So it's this combination, that's another part of it. It's this combination of you need the most amount of willpower to do something when you have the least amount of willpower available. So you fake out your brain by doing something stupid small so that it requires almost no willpower. It now requires 0 willpower to get me to the treadmill to walk 5 minutes. It's just like, oh yeah, that's it. Okay, 5 minutes. Now, once I'm at the treadmill, now I go, oh, okay, and I evaluate other things, and then the length of time spent and how it's spent changes because I have a new set of parameters once I'm there. But I only focus on the mini habit to get me to the treadmill.
Yeah, it uses that classic one more level,
yeah.
1 more level,
Uh-huh.
Or just 5 more minutes, to your advantage instead of to your disadvantage.
Exactly. So I'm not I know a lot of people out there are not happy with their body weight and other things, and there's a lot I could say about that because of my experience and my everything. A little bit outside the scope of what we want to, but it can be a very emotional thing, and it can be really hard. But the other thing about this little 5 minutes is this little guy patrolling the perimeter. I'm sorry if I'm getting emotional about this, but it's what it is sometimes. This guy patrolling the perimeter, he's doing it to try to keep you safe. That's really his job. This homeostasis, that's that part of your brain. Its job is to keep you safe. It doesn't understand always that you're not safe, but it's doing its best. And there's all these little emotional things that can come up in relationship to change in body image and size and everything else. So that just little bit allows that perimeter to expand and that comfort zone to change with the, so that there's the least friction, the least conflict between everything, and so that you can achieve things. In the one book, Small Change, Big Move, she talks about how...
You said small change, big move, which is exactly the opposite of what you would want.
Small move, big change. That's what I meant. So anyway, she talks about how sometimes it's just changing your inner conversation, your inner dialogue. She wanted to kind of clean things up, so she started saying, instead of just throwing her coat on the chair when she came in, she worked and crafted kind of a little mantra to keep repeating to herself, which is, it's really just as easy to put it away. And that was the language and phrasing that worked for her. She talks about how to develop it and tweak it so it works for you, and figure out what really works for you. Well, she picked up her coat the first time and went to the closet, only to discover there were no hangers available in that closet. And there was no space even to hang. So she scheduled some time and went through the closet and did some stuff. And so that can be part of it, is as you start doing some of these things, you can see, oh, this is what's in my way. And then you refine that little small thing. So whatever it is, it happened to be this for me. And I did not start out with, I'm going to lose 50 pounds this year when I started last year. It was simply and only 5 minutes a day. Move 5 minutes a day. Oh, there was one other one. I had two. And eat one whole food. One food that has not been processed in any way. So like a tomato, berries.
Fresh eggs.
Stuff like that. I mean, you can cook them, but then...
Yeah.
But they haven't... But not like the egg mix that you can get at the grocery store to make scrambled eggs with. Yes, they do. You can get it in a little mix. So you just pour it out of a box into the pan. It's true. These things exist. I know.
That's a crime against eggs.
That's just mean to eggs.
Like, what are you doing?
So, anyway.
Just crack some eggs and mix them up. It's like...
You have a fork?
What?
Use it. Anyway. So,
okay.
The point being...
Sorry. Those
are my two things. And this is the result. I'm a different size. I feel different. I'm moving different. I'm moving differently. So this is some of these things related to body and everything else are so core. And I will be happy to talk to anybody who, to private message or chat or stuff with anybody that is struggling or wants to talk some more about things more refined. That's perfectly fine. But my goal is just to feel better. And I knew that if I moved more, I would feel better.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's one of the other things is it's just as ineffective to make a small goal with the intent of always exceeding it by a lot as it is to just make a high goal.
Yeah. That's okay.
You have to have it be enough for you to accomplish your small goal every time. You have to be happy with that, and you have to enjoy accomplishing that small goal every time.
As soon as I hit my 5 minutes,
enjoyment of the
right. As soon as I look down at my thing after that 5 minutes, I'm like, yes, I'm done.
And that accomplishment is what builds your willpower.
Yeah, it builds the habit. It builds everything, right? So anything after that is gravy. I don't now look at it and say, okay, I have the goal of walking half an hour. No, that's not my goal. And it's not my mini habit. It's 5 minutes. Because 30 minutes, no, I might not be able to do 30 minutes no matter how I'm feeling. But 5 minutes, yes. I can make myself walk for 5 minutes almost no matter how I'm feeling.
That's the goal, and that's the only goal that you get to think about. If you get there and you're like, well, I'm already walking, I might as well keep going, that makes me happier, that's great. But it can never be that your goal increases every time you...
Right,
that's just setting yourself up to fail.
Right. There are a few exceptions to that, and they really discuss these really well in these books.
I'm just
recommend
making that clarification so that, you guys don't go wrong.
Yeah, that's the focus. Sometimes it works to then after you get to that place where, like I have, it's really, really a well-established habit. I'm still kind of keeping it, and I keep it just as that. But now I'm expanding to do some more exercise things. So I have this big exercise ball, and I stretch my back after I walk. And so I started doing crunches on top of the exercise ball. Again, my minimum, 5 crunches. I did 50 today. But as soon as I hit 5 crunches, I was like, oh, okay.
50
but I'm already there.
15?
50, 50.
Oh, okay.
I've been doing it for several weeks now.
Oh, okay.
So, but it was almost a surprise. I went, oh, 48, 40. Oh, I'm almost to 50. Yeah, I'll just keep going a couple more. So I got to 50. And a few days before that, it was like 40. I was like, okay, I'm done. But it's just kind of to see.
Mm-hmm.
Minimum 5 again. So I'm just doing something else. I'm adding something else into that thing. Don't go out and say, oh, okay, it's just mini things. So end up with a list of 100 mini things. No. Then you just have one major thing. Okay?
Yeah.
That you'll never, ever be able to accomplish all of it. You won't be able to do all of it. So just too many things. It's amazing how many areas it starts affecting.
Yeah. And the important thing at work here is that failure destroys your willpower. Just when you fail, you don't want... You lose all of your motivation.
Right.
But every little success that you do builds your willpower.
Right.
So the more you succeed at your mini habits, the more willpower you'll have
more
to keep maintaining
the better you
them.
feel. And that goes into the book Upward Spiral. Again, on the website, because we've talked about it before. Really powerful book. And all of the neuroscience and the chemicals in your brain that get released when you start on an upward spiral. And that's the other thing these mini habits do, is put you on this upward spiral path. So that you don't do the whole chuck it thing. Oh, I blew it, so I'm going to just chuck this whole thing. I'm not going to care anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It is the biggest problem with people who are dieting, that when it's not the biggest, but it's a big problem for people who are dieting. This is all well documented in studies. That there's as
soon as they break once, they just throw it away.
Yeah. There's actually a term for it. It involves an F-bomb. So, just It's the factor. So after I ate more calories than I should. Oh, well, forget it. And so they eat 3,000 more calories because they've already blown it. Instead of each new moment is a new time. Mm-hmm. Not every day, just eat every single moment. Okay, you ate that bar of chocolate. You don't have to eat the other 2 bars. You don't. You might. Okay, then keep some other habits in. And it ends up changing and permeating things in very interesting ways.
Another thing is it's much harder to make negative resolutions than it is to make positive resolutions. For example...
You mean to accomplish them or to just formulate them?
Well, no, it's much easier to make negative resolutions, as in formulate them. But it's much easier to accomplish positive resolutions. And what I mean by that is, a negative resolution would be, I'm not going to eat any candy. And
that's a resolution that's not going to happen.
Well, I got it. But that's an example of a negative resolution.
Uh-huh.
And as long as it has a not or don't or won't or, as long as it has that not in it, it's a negative resolution. It's saying, I won't do this. I'm not going to do this. Whereas a positive resolution is, I'm going to walk 5 minutes a day, or I'm going to eat a whole piece of fruit. It's something new that you're going to do, that you get to build a new habit instead of trying to destroy an old habit.
The other thing is, it's measurable.
Yeah.
So, if you don't eat candy, there's nothing to measure there. And
you just haven't eaten candy.
The second you eat a piece of candy, then you failed.
Yeah.
So then there's all of that downward spiral and emotional stuff and
that's
stuff that happens.
That's the thing about negative versus positive. If you have a negative resolution, it only takes one thing to fail it completely.
Uh-huh.
Whereas when you have a positive resolution,
especially a mini one.
I didn't do it quite this time, but I could do it every other time.
Yeah. Next time.
It's not an absolute.
And I didn't make it every day at first. It took a little while to get into the everyday thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not an especially long time, but it did take a little more time than I was expecting. But I just kept at it. You can also use a big calendar, so you end up with the Seinfeld effect. Jerry Seinfeld will have this whole calendar, and he'll mark and put big X's and do things on calendars. Because when it's out, like big desk calendars, because when it's out in a big calendar like that, and you have a mark every single day that you've succeeded at, you don't want to break the streak.
Yeah. Well,
so then you have that in your favor as well.
And the other thing is, your brain is not good at keeping track of things. It's not good at keeping track of anything, which is why anecdotal evidence is the worst evidence. Like, it's just... You don't use anecdotal evidence ever when you're doing science. Or, if you're like me, ever. And so the problem with relying on your brain to keep track of how you feel about doing something is that it's going to vary from day to day.
Right.
So if you keep track of it, if you keep some data lying around, you can look at that and actually see what's real every time, instead of your brain going, well, I haven't done it at all. It's just, And that's what your brain sounds like. You may not know that, but that's actually what it sounds like.
So you've got all of these things working in your favor when you do little, small, really too stupid to fail. I mean, and that's the other part that, as I've been thinking about this, I wanted to emphasize. It was a big point that as I grew up, it had to be all or nothing. You had to do it all. You had to do it all perfectly, or don't do anything. Or didn't matter. Mm-hmm. If you didn't do it all perfectly, it was more like your thing that if you didn't do it all and do it perfectly, it didn't matter what else you had done, it was a fail.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have a good concept of little things. I only thought big things could matter. I only thought I had to go big or go home, deep into the pool. That's where I get a lot of my deep into the pool kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of immersion that is a good thing, but some of my deep into the pool stuff comes from that I have to do it all and I have to do it all perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm still dealing with. But throughout this past year, I've realized that just a little thing can make the most amazing difference. I mean, there's so many things that are, well, that's just so big. That's such a big job. I'm not going to do it. Whereas if it was just a little tiny thing every day, then it makes a big difference. This weight on my body didn't get here in 1 year.
It's not going to come off in 1 year.
Well, it could, but it's
Yeah,
not
but what would
going
that
to
do to
be
your body?
Exactly. And if I try to do it in 1 year, I'm encountering all of these resistances and making everything harder for myself.
Well, I mean, it's realistically, it's just a much bigger job.
Yeah. So
it's a much bigger job, and it takes a lot more work. And and you have to be real with yourself.
Right. So
you have to keep
especially
track of whether you're ready for that.
When you've got
big
stuff
job.
you want to get rid of or clean out or everything, 5 minutes can be enough.
Mm-hmm.
The desire to have your house more organized could be boiled down into I'm going to get rid of 27 things every single day. Trash, give away, put them away. 27 things every single day. Or I'm going to spend 5 minutes going through papers and getting rid of papers every day. Well, then that's 5 times 365. That's that many minutes that you've put into organizing. I know there's the KonMari, and she says that doesn't ever work. I can understand why she thinks that, and I can understand her general point, that then you're still living in it, and you're not necessarily forming these habits of everything puts away. She is much. There you go. So
that's how many minutes.
She is much more of a. She doesn't promote herself as an essentialist or as a minimalist, but she wants you to really evaluate every single thing and only keep it if you love it and put it away and keep like things together. So it's much more conducive to smaller spaces and a minimalist and essentialist kind of thinking.
Not your style.
No, not my style. But you can go through and put everything in a pile and only keep the things you love and give everything else away. Sure, you can do that. But again, that's a bigger thing and a bigger change, and it's much easier to everything. You're out here and you have all of this tension wanting to pull it back to here. Mm-hmm. So just keep that in mind as you're going through these things. And that was one of the points I wanted to make sure that I made. It was amazing to me how powerful just a little thing could be. Just little things that are stupid small.
Yep.
So, as you go through your things, I hope that our thoughts and ruminations, and as you kind of start your new year, or maybe you started your new year and already you're 2 weeks in and you failed. Well, guess what? Start again. Start again today. And evaluate something else.
I'm going to get a little bit cosmic on you. There's nothing significant about this point around the sun. Like it's just as valid as every other point around the sun. There's no reason to start right now as opposed to 2 months from now.
Right.
There's
or a year from now. And it's silly to keep bad habits for another 11 months until you can have permission at the very beginning of the new year to make
There's nothing significant about this point in the rotation. There's nothing significant there.
So if you've been challenged doing your new year, that's what we want. Okay, now for us.
Okay, I take it back. There's a little bit of significance because us in the northern hemisphere, we're tilted, our farthest from the sun at this exact
Solstices.
point. It's technically a valid, but even then, it's 10 days off of the point. So really,
but as
what's
far
the
as
point?
but as far as your
just
personal...
start now. and change your life right now.
Right. But as far as personal progression, there's nothing.
No, there's nothing significant
Yeah.
at this point around the
As
sun.
far as
You might as
personal
well
progression.
pick your birthday, or your best friend's birthday, or
But why have it just be this one random day? I mean,
July 4th, or whatever. Whatever day is significant to you.
Today works.
There's no today.
today works.
Just
Now.
pick today because it's today.
So, speaking of changes,
No, there's one more thing, and then we need to
this
kind of be
happens
done.
to us.
There's one more thing that I want to say, and then we
Okay.
kind of need to be done. So, what you were saying about just a little thing,
Mm-hmm.
that's not true of just changing yourself.
Mm-mm.
That's true for everything, because just this last year, I have been trying to give as many compliments as I can. Just to compliment. I look at someone and I'm like, hey, they look really good, or hey, that's really cool. And I make a point to not just keep that to myself, to share that with them.
Oh,
Because I enjoy it so much when people do that for me. And so I feel like the only way that people can do that to me more is if I'm the person doing that for them. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's kind of like a statistics thing.
you're increasing the chances by spreading more compliments?
No, it's not even that. It's not that if I do it to them, it'll happen to me, because that's the wrong reason to do anything.
Right.
That's karma, and that's the idea of karma, and that's kind of a reason for people who wouldn't normally do nice things to do nice things, is because they think it will help them. But that's not why I do it. The reason I do it is because the only world in which good things happen,
Is a
in which
world
everyone does good
Okay.
things, is a world where I do good things. Because
you're
I
part
am one of everyone.
Okay.
So the only world in which good things happen and compliments are given is a world where I give compliments. And so I'm going to be a part of that world. I'm
Cool.
going to start existing in that world. And so I've started giving compliments, and I don't know why. It's probably a confirmation bias thing. A religious man might say that it's some kind of, blessing, or some, return on their investment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in that, so I see it as just a confirmation bias, or a coincidence, or, possibly a causal relationship between me being happier because I'm giving compliments, and so people compliment me more. Maybe I'm more approachable. But I have seen more compliments to me, and more people, coming up to me and complimenting me, and, being happy around me. And
whether
it's
that's just that you notice it, or whether it's actually really...
whichever one of those it is. It doesn't matter if I'm noticing
you're
it more.
happier.
It doesn't matter if I'm just noticing it more now, or if it's happening more.
You're happier.
It's just, it's made me happier. And so,
Cool.
I don't know.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. You hadn't shared that with me. That's neato. That's a cool thing. I like that thing about the only world in which...
You gave that to me.
Oh, see? Yay! Okay. Now, speaking of change and doing changes and all that kind of stuff, we are going to be changing.
Yes.
We do not know how yet. We haven't quite figured all of that out. But with all of the changes that are happening with Joan Michael and everything, we are changing. The podcast will be changing.
Mm-hmm.
This is the part where you get to have input. So, do you love the Maker of the Month and you really don't want that to exist? You let us know. Because we want to know the conversation, or you wish we would do something.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes we can't always think of everything. And if you suggest something to us and we're like, oh, that would be really fun to explore,
Mm-hmm.
or that would be really fun to do, then we will incorporate those kinds of things into our changes. So,
That's not to say that all of your changes will happen,
no,
but we'd like to hear what you want.
we'd like to hear what you
Because-
like.
Yeah, the only way that we'll be able to, fill that is if we know.
Right. And it's not, like John Michael was saying, it's not a like made to order thing of, oh, we want you to do this and this and this. It's, hey, let us know what's most important to you. And then as we're making those decisions, that will be a part of those decisions.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're saying. Because you are a part of this podcast. You watch it, you experience it, you value it. Most of you who are watching.
We're assuming.
So,
which
let us know.
Say.
That's our question for you, is to talk about, we want your feedback. Give us your feedback and your input. If you don't quite have any, you can talk to us about what your New Year stuff is. What your experience of New Year is. If you like it, if you don't like it, if you are really sick of the whole resolution thing and never want to hear the word resolution again, or New Year even, thinking of all of the things you have to do differently.
If you never want to hear the word resolution again, try dissolution, which is, the exact opposite.
So anyway, that's what we have, and those are our questions, and thank you for joining us for this conversation. And we don't have any questions from our viewers, so at this point, until next time,
have a colorful life.
If you can kind of fake out. Okay.
I want a snack.
I was like right in the middle of talking.
Yeah, just talk.
It's silly to just have good yarn that is never ever used, and it should totally be.
Glad we're catching this all on camera.
It should.
Because I'll never get you to admit it again.
No, I am. I'm moving into that. We should use it. Okay?
It's time for
all right,
show-offs.
We didn't finish.
Yeah, we did.
Did we? Am I going to be able to make an end there cleanly somewhere?
Yep.
Okay.